Thursday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. As we are winning the culture war. Winning. It's been a war that I've been embroiled in for a long time. Got called a terrorist, got put on lists, got called a Nazi. There were laws made about it in New York, and we are winning the culture war now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited about this show and about what we're going to be speaking about today, because as I have been, we've been fighting this fight for over 5 years, more than that. Cancel culture and everything else, we are winning. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We are dominating in the culture war right now. Dominating. And it is amazing. It is amazing. And it's going to feel good. It's got to feel good. Remember back in January of 2023? I know that is a long time ago. Remember that hockey player? Does anybody remember his name? Ivan Provorov. Remember him? What did he do? Anybody remember what he did? That story?
He didn't wear the gay stuff, right?
As Brennan said, hold on, wait.
He didn't wear the gay stuff.
He didn't wear the gay stuff. That's right. Ivan Provorov refused to wear the pride. I think he refused to put the tape or something on his hockey stick or the jersey. He refused to do it. He was the first guy, really, in sports individually. The Texas Rangers are the exception to that rule because they haven't done Pride Night since 2003. The fans were like, stop doing this. They were like, okay, fine. Ivan Provorov refused, as Brennan said, refused to wear the gay stuff. He didn't wear the Pride Night jersey. He said it was against my religion. This guy's a Russian Orthodox Christian. He said no. And his jersey sold out, right? And then shortly after that, Bud Light decided to go with Dylan Mulvaney and their stock tanked. And then Kohl's and Target with the Pride displays and their businesses tanked, right? And we said back then, while it felt like we were getting hit with just an avalanche of the Pride stuff and the degeneracy and the it just looked like our culture was in the you-know-what, right? The sugar honey iced tea, Echo Romeo, right? Our culture was in the tank. But there were a few people who were dancing. And the rest of us were like, look at this. Look at Ivan Provorov. Look at these guys and gals who are refusing to give in. Look at everybody trying to start, Jack Daniels went woke with the drag queens and the whiskey, and everyone said, screw them, Redneck Riviera, right? John Rich's whiskey, among other alternatives. And people started, the parallel economy forced this action that we're seeing now, these results, to bubble to the top. So don't ever let anybody tell you that the results of one person or a few people or a small group can't impact things downstream. But it did take over 2 years. But we're here now. And we are rapidly advancing the football down the field here in this culture war. And it is extremely exciting because, as the late, great Andrew Breitbart said, politics are downstream from culture. First, the culture starts to shift. Then the politics start to shift. We are pushing that football down the field in the culture war at a breakneck pace right now. And, you get the feeling if you watch football, the NFL, or when a team, you get late in the game, just starts to impose their will on their opponent, just starts to run the ball down their throat, just starts to push them around, just starts to bully them down the field, do whatever it is they want to do without really much resistance. We are on the cusp of that in the culture war, which means a few years from now, we will be politically in an amazing situation. We just can't let up. The Sydney Sweeney stuff has got all the right people upset, and it goes beyond Sydney Sweeney. There's another one that we're now going to talk about today. She is an absolute legend in the WNBA. I don't watch the WNBA, but I hear about this person a lot. So we're going to talk about that, some amazing culture war wins. Before we get to all the juicy stuff, I've got a shout out. Somebody I need to recognize has come to my attention. She may not be in the chat right now. Okay. But this is somebody who is friends with my mom.
Oh.
And asked for the link to our show a few weeks ago and has been listening every day. She's usually out exercising, being a good Maha, make America healthy again American. But they know each other, which is always, that's always a good thing. There's only a few people in this group that my mom's a part of that are on our side, and this person happens to be one of them. Mm-hmm. So I would like to give a shout out to, and she goes by Z, just Z. It's like she's a mystical figure, Z. Z is here. Z is listening, and I want to give her a shout out, and I would love for the chat, our live chat, to welcome Z, just the letter Z, into the ungovernable LFA family, McGroin Nation, of course, as well. So if we could just say welcome to Z, we greatly appreciate it. Z, thank you so much for listening and being a part of this every day. We appreciate it. Keep spreading the good word and stay healthy. Yes, look at it. Sandman's got it. Good morning, Z. Look at that. Everyone's saying welcome right there on the chat, so that when Z does see this later, she will know that she is more than welcome here, and hopefully at some point in time,
she is the best.
She is the best. Hopefully, at some point in time, maybe she'll be able to jump in live at some point. But welcome to Z. As you can see, the chat is just ecstatic. So thank you, guys. Look at that. We are a very welcoming bunch, right? We are a very welcoming bunch. Thank you, and thank you to Z, and obviously to good old Mama Dukes out there who is spreading the good word, sharing it with her friends organically out there on a run or on a bike. The best way to do it, word of mouth. I always say word of mouth is the new cash. Welcome, Z. Thank you very much. All right. Let's get to a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. OFPfarms.com, promo code SHAWN. That's OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, 15% off. We are in the final day of July. Could you believe this? Like, August begins tomorrow, which is fun for me, right? Because hurricane season is going to start to ramp up, and I get to track and follow the weather. We'll be doing, as Speak likes to say, weather on the fours, right? We'll do the whole green screen thing. We only predicted where Helene was going to make landfall last year, like right on it. What I said, Perry, right? Didn't I say Perry? Well, I made landfall on Perry, didn't it? Yes, it did. Explore the wonderful quality of Faith Farm and Freedom products with a special limited time 15% discount on your entire purchase. Take a peek at the lineup from OFP Farms, America's go-to soap company, famous for natural ingredients, the skin-loving perks of tallow and goat milk, and a big heart for farm-to-family skincare. Whether you're looking for gentle skincare or thoughtful gifts, these products bring together expert care and good values to make your daily routine better. Do not miss this chance to enjoy premium products that support your health and ethical choices for the entire family. OFP Farms is a small family farm with big love, and they've got this stuff like this We the People soap. It just smells like the Constitution. This actually smells like the parchment that the Constitution was written on. That's the scent right here. You got to check it out for yourself. We the People soap. OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean. You've also got the Goat Kisses lip balm. I call it the chapstick killer. Ditch your crapstick. It's owned by Pfizer. OFP Farms, Goat Kisses lip balm. And we're now getting into duels with everybody who uses the Goat Kisses lip balm, like Matt Brown's wife. We pulled it out at the table a couple weeks ago. Shing! On God. It was a Goat Kisses lip balm fest. So it's OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN. OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off of your entire purchase. Check it out right there on your screen. OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off. It's OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean. I got to get to this Nancy Pelosi stuff. We have the teeth, of course. You know, we have. There she is. Nance, what's up, Nancy? Thank you. Oh, she's still going. There she goes. Shut it, Nancy. Before we do Blabbermouth, before we do that, I got to talk to you about our friends over at My Patriot Supply. Folks, this sale is ending very soon. Don't miss out. You want to get in while the getting's good, right? At My Patriot Supply. It's Christmas in July, but guess what happens tomorrow? July is over. Does that mean Christmas is over? I don't know. You do the math. MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned. According to the Department of Energy, blackouts could increase by 10,000% over the next few years. It's because of a massive energy demand from AI data centers and aging fragile power grid that just can't keep up. I don't know about you, but especially now with these heat indexes in like the hundreds, in the mid hundreds now, I don't want to be without power. I don't like the idea of being without power, not even for a day, not even for a few hours. That's why I want you to think about the Grid Doctor 3300 from My Patriot Supply. It is a powerful solar generator that runs refrigerators, AC units, medical devices, power tools, anything you need to ride out a blackout. And right now, for their Christmas in July event, My Patriot Supply is including over $1,000 in free survival gear with your generator, including an emergency food supply, water filtration, survival tools, and a whole lot more. You heard that right, over $1,000 in free gear for a limited time. Food, right, with a shelf life of over 25 years. Solar panels, all sorts of good stuff. Survival gear, mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Get that Christmas in July sale before July is over. Before Christmas in July is over. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Stay ahead of what's coming, because it could be some blackouts and some bad things on the horizon. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. Okay, I'm either sick or the water tastes like grass.
You might just have sinus drainage making your taste buds a little funny.
Because everything tastes like dirt. Maybe it's the Flonase. I don't know what it is. It's absolutely weird, but it's okay. Okay, Nancy. Nancy, it's okay, Nancy? Look at Nancy. What's she? Rub the wrists. Remember when she did this? And she rubbed her wrists? And then she ripped up the pages? And she did. I don't know what this was. What was she doing when she did this? Do we have an explanation for this? Why she was doing the wrist? We're going to have a wrist rubbing good time. Nancy Pelosi, we'll have a wrist rubbing good time, okay? They're trying to crack down on congressional stock trading. Nancy is unhappy about it. She spoke to Jake Tapper yesterday. First, here is what Donald Trump said about it.
Holly introduced legislation that would ban members of Congress from owning or trading individual stocks. It extends to the president and vice president. Are you in favor of that legislation?
Well, I like it conceptually. I don't know about it, but I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated, because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated.
So there's Trump's comments on Nancy Pelosi, and I like to trade stocks. Yeah, here's her explanation with Jake Tapper. Actually pushed her on it a little bit. She was very upset. I did not come here for this. Yeah, you're not supposed to ask me this question.
It was. But let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk.
Why do you have to read this? It's nonsense.
But let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are, they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it, my husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family, and while he might make fun of us while somebody inspired by him breaks into our home and hits my husband in a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks
your husband wasn't hit over the head, Nancy. It was
With
a different
a hammer.
It was a different hole. It wasn't the front hole. It was the back hole. But she's like, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't trade socks. My husband trades socks. I wonder where your husband gets all the information to trade from, Nance. Couldn't be his wife, who's getting information about what stocks are going to go where because of legislation. No way. Paul Pelosi must just be very good at, at trading stocks, among other things. I heard he's good at the backwards ingestion of a hammer, apparently. I don't know. Do, hammer through my back door, right? That's what it was. Woo! Okay. All right. So wait, listen, please. That was just an excuse for me to break the teeth out again. I'm sorry. I had to do it, right? Nancy Pelosi. What do you think, Nancy? Do you think you're trading stocks? That's very nice. Okay, here we go. Someone said I sound like Sid the Sloth. Okay, I can't disagree with that. Sid the Sloth is he does have that same, right? Ice Age, is that what he was? That's who Angel Reese looks like in the WNBA. She's got atrophoia a little bit, right?
When I yawn, I look like Sid the Sloth.
Yeah, but you don't have the atrophoia. He's got eyes that are out here.
Yeah, but he looks straight.
Yeah, but he's no, does he? Oh, his eyes are just far apart.
Yeah,
okay, so he doesn't.
Sloth.
So he's not atrophoia. He just has a football field between both eyes.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
It's like Hey Arnold.
Yes, he's a football head. All right, the liberals are still freaking out over Sydney Sweeney. This is great. So I'm going to play a couple of videos here showing you that the right people are upset. Okay, the right people are upset over this Sydney Sweeney stuff, and again, we judge the effectiveness of what we're doing by the reaction of the left. It's the best way to do it. If our enemies are upset, if our enemies on the culture war battlefield are upset, chances are Billy Currington theory comes into play and we must be doing something right. So here is one of these, they do these rants, I guess, on TikTok or Instagram, wherever it is, and they're accusing the American Eagle brand and Sydney Sweeney of pushing eugenics because they did a play on words with the word genes.
Did American Eagle just run an ad for eugenics?
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
Totally just talking about denim, right? Just a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman explaining how her good genes gave her personality and purity. I mean, are we really going to pretend that this isn't a little fashy-coded? Look, I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney personally wrote this ad to revive the Third Reich, but American Eagle absolutely knew what they were doing here. You don't get to drop lines about inherited traits, blue eyes, and great genes while zooming in on somebody that could have walked straight off of a Nazi propaganda poster and expect people not to catch that reference. Good genes used to mean racial purity in fascist circles, and now it's just denim marketing. We are watching fascist aesthetics sneak back into pop culture through fashion ads, trad wife influencers, and yes, now blue jeans. If you think this was an innocent ad, you have not been paying attention.
No, then I haven't been paying attention because this was not a Nazi the level of mental illness you have to believe that an ad for literal pants is a Nazi. It's pants. It's just pants. I mean, am I missing something? Yes, they made a play on words with genes, Jeans and Genes. Okay, I get it. Eugenics. We want to talk about eugenics? Let's talk about eugenics, shall we? Who was a very, very well-known eugenicist way back in the day who happened to have founded, the leftist baby known as Planned Parenthood? That's right, Margaret Sanger. Oh, we don't want to let them know that our goal is to, quote unquote, and these are her words, not my words, so don't take me down anywhere, exterminate the Negro population. I don't want to do that. Margaret Sanger wanted to do that. Margaret Sanger wanted to do that. You want to talk about eugenics? Let's talk about eugenics. Why are there Planned Parenthoods in all these black neighborhoods? Anybody want to answer that question? No, of course not. No, that's racist to ask that question, but it's also racist to apparently be a white girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, and wear jeans in an ad for American Eagle. Do we even know? Do we even know if Sydney Sweeney is like right or left? Do we have any idea? Her politics?
I don't think she's ever mentioned it.
I don't. So, and generally my rule of thumb is if you keep quiet, you're probably not woke. But now, you know, that things are kind of starting to switch. Okay. What happened? What happened?
Winky.
What did Winky say?
Her initials are SS.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Well, that wasn't done by accident either. This is like, we're reaching 8-8 territory.
Right.
Right? Frank Fugazi, Bongino Army, 8-8. Remember that? You know, 8. August is the 8th month of the year. And they did this on the 8th day of the 8th month. And H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. So it was code for HH, which is Hail Hitler. Frank Fugazi. Remember that lunatic with his theory? Yeah, wait until they find out that Sydney Sweeney's initials are SS. Aha! It's a dog whistle of the Nazis and the fascists. These people are out of their minds. But you know what? We've known this for a while, but now they're literally triggered over blue jeans. She's like, "Oh yeah, you expect me to believe this is just denim?" Yes, it's a ad for pants.
And I've yet to see an attractive person upset about it. Have you noticed?
Yeah, they're all
ugly because they're jealous.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really probably the bottom line.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They're all ugly people, right? If they want us to use, if I see an ugly person wearing jeans, then I'm not going to want to wear the jeans, right? If I see a beautiful person like Melania wearing jeans, we're going to wear the jeans. Here's another one. Now, Brennan,
what?
Your taste in women, I think you're actually going to like this one. This is gonna debunk your theory.
I love pretty women.
This is going to debunk your theory, I think, of only ugly people are offended. But here we have, another reaction that is again, they're coming unglued over pants at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. They're coming unglued over pants. And here's another example.
I really wasn't going to weigh in on this, but here we go. It is so difficult to grow up as a person of color, specifically a woman, and view yourself as beautiful in any sense of the word growing up in this country. I remember growing up in a predominantly white community, wishing myself out of this body, out of this culture, take my name. If it meant that I could wake up blonde-haired and blue-eyed, never having to explain who I am or worry about being accepted. That is why this American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney is especially off-putting. There's a lot of rhetoric right now online about the political ideologies that this represents, and I don't discount that, but for me, I can't help but think about the 13-year-old brown girl who gets all her denim at American Eagle, who already struggles to see her beauty and worth in a world that continues to value white, Eurocentric beauty standards, which I naively thought by this point we would have moved the needle on. And this girl is now wishing she too could wake up with blonde hair and blue eyes. It took me so long, too long in my life to look in the mirror and see beauty. And I hate that continues to be a shared experience for young brown girls in this country.
When they use a blonde hair, blue-eyed white girl in an American Eagle ad to sell jeans, if you are taking that as an attack on non-white people, like there's something wrong with you. There's not something wrong with American Eagle. They're not saying if you don't look like Sydney Sweeney, you're ugly. They just put the girl in the jeans in the ad and said, buy the pants. That's all they did.
Yeah, it's American Eagle, not like Argentinian
I mean,
Eagle.
if it was, Indian Eagle,
Like, yeah.
you could have, okay, bite it in, thank you, come again. By the way, Trump is pissed at India right now. He said he doesn't care about what they do, and there's too many tariffs, and there may not be a deal anymore with India because they're buying too much from Russia and all this other stuff. But I mean, and even if it's not, you say, "Oh, America's a country for all people and all colors and all." Fine, you could spew all that all you want. American Eagle is not attacking minorities by choosing a white girl to advertise a new jean line that they're putting out. That's not what, if this is the problem. Everybody's got to take everything as an attack. Oh, that's not what I like. They're attacking me. That's not true. They're just doing something a little different, okay? Like if I order pizza without pepperoni, I'm not doing it because I hate people who like pepperoni. I just don't want pepperoni on my pizza. A pepperoni, right? It's very easy to understand. Normal people will look at something like that and go, oh, okay. Like even when Dylan Mulvaney advertised, I thought it was a stupid thing that Bud Light did. I didn't feel like they were attacking me. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was an insult to actual women because Dylan Mulvaney is not a woman, but I don't necessarily think it's some sort of attack. Right? The unraveling of the left over the Sydney Sweeney ad is showing everybody their true colors. It's unreal, the reactions, and it hasn't stopped there. ESPN, which is owned by Disney, they have gone completely and totally woke. An ESPN writer is now mortified over the pants commercial. David Dennis Jr. has jumped on the leftist bandwagon of lunatics claiming that the actress Sydney Sweeney's ad for American Eagle jeans is somehow inspiring the revitalization of the Third Reich. This is a real ESPN writer on Monday. Dennis, the writer, disgorged a shrill post filled with all caps reading, quote, "I didn't think anything of the Sydney Sweeney ads, but then actual scholars on messaging, give me a break, eugenics and fascism, explained what was going on. And then, yes, I understood and became pretty mortified because, hey, sometimes it's good to listen to experts." Okay. In a follow-up post, he sarcastically added that the jeans company has finally made it safe to like pretty white women again. I'm just happy that these are AE ads making it safe for conventionally attractive blue-eyed blonde women to be accepted by society. They're no longer scourges of society. Finally, he sarcastically wrote. This guy apparently believes that American Eagle is trying to revive the Third Reich because they use Sydney Sweeney in an ad for pants. Where is David Dennis Jr. on all the Free Palestine stuff, right? How about the globalize the Intifada? How about, the attacks on Jews all around the world, not just in our country, all around the world? How about the fact that you have people lining up now voluntarily saying that they want to eliminate the state of Israel, right? The Jewish homeland. Does that remind you of the Third Reich? Because I'll tell you what, globalize the Intifada, eliminating the Jewish homeland of Israel and their rightful claim to that land, right? The attacks on Jews, the college campuses, keeping Jews from going to class, all of those different examples, that to me reminds me a little more of Adolf Hitler's vision than pants do, right? I would maybe say that all of those examples and those attacks on Jewish people around the world kind of is a little more reminiscent of the Third Reich and the things that Adolf Hitler did than a pair of denim jeans. I would say so. David Dennis Jr. And finally, we add insult to injury here because the left, I can't say what I want to say.
Oh.
You know what?
What? What?
Here's the thing. Kamala Harris had a hobby. Mm-hmm. That's what the left could do to me. I don't care about their feelings right now.
No, they can't do that.
No, they can't.
No.
But, figuratively speaking. Figuratively speaking. Here's the best thing, okay? There's been now have you seen the new Dunkin' Donuts commercial? Is an attractive male who is
I did see a
provocatively talking about coffee. The culture is shifting, folks. Look, again, you want to, now, from a moral standpoint, I know there's going to be people who look at this and will say, it's too sexual, it's too provocative, it's too suggestive. All right, we can have that conversation. We can have that conversation at a different day. The point that I'm trying to highlight here is that normalcy, what we have perceived as normal, what has been normal for years, is normal once again. And it's not stopping with Dunkin' Donuts and American Eagle. You've now got Sophie Cunningham. She's the one who's been defending Caitlin Clark on the basketball court. She's the one, I think she played football in high school or something. She's a tough girl, big girl. She's a tough girl. And she plays in a WNBA, and they're going after. She's on Caitlin Clark's team. She's on the Indiana Fever. They've been bullying Caitlin Clark on the court, and so she's been hitting back and retaliating. She's now out there wearing "Hot Girls Eat Arby's" shirts, folks. Again, right? This doesn't happen a few years ago. Arby's doesn't even think about doing this a few years ago. You know what changed? When I went through the drive-thru, that's when Arby's changed. No, this doesn't happen a few years ago. It took everybody getting up and dancing. It took everybody getting up and dancing. One person started dancing, right? It's the dance party thing. One guy starts dancing and you think he's a lunatic. Then two people start dancing and that they both look like lunatics until everybody starts to realize that those people who are dancing are having a lot of fun. Hey, that looks like fun. Maybe we should join them in this dance, right? Remember? Donald Trump used to be the only one doing this. What a stupid thing. That's not how you do the YMCA. And then everyone realized that the Trump boogie is a lot of fun. And so everybody started doing the Trump boogie. And now we're all dancing, right? And now it is a dance party as we win back the culture war. So whether it's Sydney Sweeney and the jeans, whether it's the dude in the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, whether it's Sophie Cunningham with Arby's and anything else that comes down the road, it started back when it was uncool to say, hey, Dylan Mulvaney is a dude, right? And this pride stuff is going too far. And we don't need it shoved down our throats. And then came NHL legend, I'll always refer to him as a legend, Ivan Provorov, who looked at that and said, no, I'm not wearing the pride jersey. And then more people started getting up and started dancing. And Bud Light lit their brand on fire. And Target and Kohl's had problems with everything. And you started to see a rolling back, a dialing back of the aggressiveness, right, of the whole pride stuff and how they were actively preying on children. And it got exposed. And then the Tennessee state legislature passed that law that banned gender-affirming care and mutilation for minors. And it was upheld at the Supreme Court. And now we have the culture coming back to where it should be. We haven't finished the job yet. It's not time to let up, but it is absolutely time to high-five each other on the sidelines here and on the field here and be excited that we are moving the ball down the field because politics is downstream from culture. And the culture is shifting back to where it needs to be. And we are winning. And this is only the start. Don't let up. We are dominating the culture war. And the domination must continue. All right. I'm excited about that type of stuff. We've been on the front lines of the culture war for a very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll get into, we have a flurry of stories that we have to get to in the second half of the show that we're probably not going to be able to get to all of them, and that is okay. But I want to get to a bunch of them, and we will get to a bunch of them. But before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/Farish. It's my last name. PatriotMobile.com/Farish. Look, I realize there's a lot of choices when it comes to who you choose for your mobile provider. A lot of them. your cell phone service. And there's new ones that are popping up all over the place. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that is Patriot Mobile. Not only are they leading the way in the red economy, but Patriot Mobile also outgains the competition when it comes to technology. Patriot Mobile is one of the only carriers with access to all 3 major U.S. networks. That means exceptional nationwide coverage, along with the ability to have multiple numbers on the same smartphone on different networks. This is a game changer. Their technology is second to none. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, internet backup, and so much more. And switching is easier than ever. You can activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone. If you want a new phone, you can upgrade your phone. Go to patriotmobile.com/Farish or call 972-PATRIOT. Make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/FARASH. You can put in your information right here. You can call 972-PATRIOT and put in the promo code Farish. You get a free month of service if you do that. A free month of service at patriotmobile.com/Farish or 972-PATRIOT. Promo code FARASH. Okay. We've got a disturbing story out of Virginia. It's a very disturbing story out of Virginia. An illegal alien story out of San Francisco. We will have a return of the word salad fork, not in video form, but an update on the original wielder of this. Right? We will fight in the shade. We've got that. What else do we have? Let's see what else we have. And we've got an update on, big update from the FBI. Kash Patel gave us some information yesterday. And an update on the Trump tariffs. Before we do all that, I want to get to a message. You may have heard of this guy, this Jeremy guy. He's on next, right? Jeremy Harrell. He's got a message for you from one of our sponsors, the legendary purehealthresearch.com. Take a listen.
Hey guys, what's going on? I got an incredible offer here for you from Pure Health Research. This is going to blow your mind. Look, I know so many people out there, especially as we get older, we want to drop a few pounds. We lose a little energy. We lose a little testosterone. We lose a little, estrogen. We just lose as we get older. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to gain, and this message is just for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to what? Make America healthy again. They are aligned with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s mission, and I'm aligned with that. Their 2 best-selling health supplements right now that are leading the way is the Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans are sluggish because of a liver that is riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on pounds, make you feel tired, all that. Liver Health Formula will take care of that. It supports your liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down. Next is the lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, been there, done that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be for you. The natural ingredient in the lymph system formula helps gently flush extra fluids and toxins out of the body. Right now, you can get a limited time offer, 35% off right now. 35% off by going to purehealthresearch.com and using promo code LFA. That's Pure Health Research right now. Use promo code LFA and you'll get 35% off targeted products. I need something for this. I need something for that. They got it. And I want you to check out the reviews online. They are through the roof. purehealthresearch.com. Promo code LFA.
That's purehealthresearch.com. Promo code LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, purehealthresearch.com, for being a part of the show. Always nice to have sponsors who are keeping us going here. It's always a good thing. Let's talk about this situation in Virginia. Did you hear about this? Brennan, you just heard about this morning.
I did.
This is a very nasty situation in Virginia. Another unfortunate piece of evidence that we are winning the culture war, because now they're taking the war back to the streets. In Virginia, a lawmaker, a city councilman, was doused in gasoline and set on fire in his office. Danville, Virginia City Councilman Lee Vogler was doused in gasoline and set on fire in his office on Tuesday. According to reports, the attacker, identified as Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes. You would think with that many names, he's an illegal alien. 29 years old, of Danville, threw 5 gallons of gasoline on Vogler before setting him on fire. Danville police said the attack appears to be personal and not related to Vogler's position as a city councilman. Yeah, I'm sure. It's never political when Republicans get attacked. Have you ever noticed that? It's never political. Like when Rand Paul was attacked for mowing his lawn or while mowing his lawn, it was like, oh, there was a personal dispute. It wasn't political. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Of course, right? Danville police said the attack appears to be personal, which I don't believe. The Daily Mail reported that Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes' wife filed for divorce just 2 weeks ago. Showcase Magazine's Andrew Brooks said the attacker forced his way into the magazine's office as Vogler, who was visiting, poured a 5-gallon container of gas on him. Lee attempted to flee, ran into the front of the building. Showcase Magazine owner Andrew Brooks said in a Facebook video, the individual followed him and set him on fire. Vogler was flown to the UNC burn unit in Chapel Hill, according to WSET. Sounds like he survived. He wasn't killed, but this is a horrific attack. And again, here we go. People feel like settling their disputes needs to include violence. We've reached a time, unfortunately, this is an indictment on society as a whole, where everyone has to settle their issues with violence. Everyone wants to hurt people. Everyone wants to, we got lighting people on fire. You've got the Intifada. You've got, remember with the Tesla and all that, burning the cars and firebombing the dealerships. I'm not a violent person. I'm not always the happiest person in the world, and it's short fuse, right? But I don't like violence. I don't believe violence is the answer. And unfortunately, most of society, does think violence is the answer here, or at least the most insane segment of society believes that violence is the answer. And we should be pushing back against that, no matter who the attacker was. If this was a Democrat who was lit on fire, I'd be saying the exact same thing. It is unfortunate how far society has fallen, and the lack of judgment that we have. An illegal immigrant in San Francisco. This story is just classic leftism. Illegal immigrant in San Francisco was arrested for a crime spree, attempted carjacking, after a San Francisco judge granted him protection from ICE. So it turns out, like we were saying, we were right again, that when you protect criminals and you don't hold criminals accountable, what happens? They commit more crime. Holy sugar honey iced tea. Nobody saw that coming, right? As the sarcasm drips from my mouth. An illegal immigrant in California who is temporarily shielded from immigration and customs enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, baby. Dun, 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 dun. By a federal judge, was arrested just weeks later for a violent string of alleged crimes, including an attempted carjacking of a vehicle with a 3-year-old child inside. That's nice. Guillermo Medina Reyes, a tattoo artist who had been living in the United States illegally since he was 6 years old, was granted a temporary restraining order by a judge in California's South Bay, barring ICE agents from taking him into custody earlier in July. The decision came as dozens of protesters rallied outside the courthouse in solidarity. Reyes had previously spent time in prison for attempted murder, as well as a year and a half in ICE detention in 2021, according to the Berkeley Scanner and NBC Bay Area. Despite his court order, Reyes was arrested after allegedly committing a series of disturbing incidents. Police began when Reyes called 911 to report a woman screaming in a vacant house next to where he had been staying. Officers responded and noticed a broken window and cuts on Reyes' hands. After the police left, a shirtless man, later identified as Reyes, allegedly approached a big rig driver, stole his cell phone, and attempted to hijack the truck. The truck stalled and Reyes fled. So this guy was in prison. He was being detained for attempted murder. They let him out. They protected him from ICE. And what did he do? He committed more crimes. Again, as we've been saying every single time we talk about a story like this on this show, the left wants to keep the worst of the worst in the country. Doesn't matter how unsafe your communities become. They want that guy, Mr. Reyes, Medina, Fernandez, Martinez, Rodriguez, to be walking around eligible to commit any other crime. There was a 3-year-old kid involved in this crime. It's not fair to the child. It's not fair to the parents of that child. It's not fair to anybody. All right. I've got an update. So there were rumors that Kamala Harris was, and by the way, last night was the 1-year anniversary of Megan Thee Stallion's seizure, otherwise known as a twerk, on stage. Yeah, she kind of lost control. Looked like she was being zapped by a cattle prod. She was all... It's like the old John Sterling, the Yankees win, right?
You can't make fun of the culture like that.
I make fun of the culture. Kamala Harris says she is not running for governor of California. Oh. And in her little statement, we could read between the lines, right? Betwixt the lines, right? We could read between the lines. Kamala Harris said that right now, like in this moment today, she doesn't believe that she should be serving the public. Interesting. Here it says, I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fearlessly and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plans. But she said later in that little message, again, reading between the lines because the California gubernatorial election is next year. For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people. But for now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office. She's going to run for president again. And I am all for it. I wholeheartedly endorse Kamala Harris for the Democrat nominee. But do it again, please. Do it again. If there's one thing that always works against Kamala Harris, what is it? Kamala Harris and time. The more time she's out there in front of people, the worse it gets. Run. Settle. Right. Run, Kamala, run. Do it. By the way, that announcement yesterday comes as another announcement was made by Kamala Harris an hour ago this morning. What the world saw on the campaign trail was only a part of this story. My new book. She wrote a book. Is a behind-the-scenes look at my experience leading the shortest presidential campaign in modern history. 107 days is out on September 23rd. I can't wait for you to read it. Hold on a second. Does anybody honestly believe that this woman wrote a book?
No.
Does the book happen to be about buses and Doritos and the green grass that she grew up around? Remember, I grew up in a middle-class family.
How many word salads are going to be in this book?
That's why. You have to read. If you read the book, if you get the book, you have to turn the pages with the fork. That's what you have to do, okay? By the way, let's just flash back to one of my favorite Kamala Harris moments. What do you think it's going to be? One of my favorite Kamala Harris moments ever.
Oh, no.
What do you think it is?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Okay. I put her on the spot. She didn't know I was against that.
I honestly don't really remember.
This is a woman who struggled with the teleprompter. You expect me to believe that she wrote a book? This lady right here wrote a book?
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard...
32 days! That woman wrote a book? There's not a chance in hell. I don't know who the ghostwriter is. That lady did not write a book, okay? I want to see how many times it's... Because the book is called 107 Days. It should be called 32 Days! Oh, my HBCU brothers and sisters. I'm not buying it.
No.
But She wrote one, so she's running for president again. All right, she's definitely running for president again, by the way. That's absolutely what's going to happen. Let's take another quick break, talk to you about our friends over at Silent. It's SLNT.com. This is a product that we should just stuff Kamala Harris inside of the Silent product, right? Put her inside of one of the Silent bags so that we don't hear from her. We don't have to worry about being tracked and hacked by her. This is the best way to do it. Take back your privacy with Silent, SLNT.com/SHAWN. 15% off at checkout. Between the government, big tech, corporate America, and criminals, your privacy is compromised 24/7. There is no other option. You've got to protect yourself. And that all starts with Silent. Silent's Faraday products block all incoming and outgoing signals so that your devices are invisible and safe from the outside world. From their backpacks, phone sleeves, and even pants. Pants. Those are controversial these days. Their patented signal blocking technology blocks wireless signals, giving you the peace of mind that your device does not end up in the wrong hands, that your data does not end up in the wrong hands. Just put your device inside of their products, close them up. That's all you've got to do. You are safeguarded from unauthorized access. It'll stop all signals, inbound and outbound. It'll block radiation from those devices, too, if you're concerned about that. There are many concerns. People have many concerns about the Bluetooth and the 5G. It'll prevent you from being tracked and hacked as well. Stay ahead of what's coming and secure your privacy today. Go to SLNT.com/SHAWN for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That's Silent, SLNT.com/Sean for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. It's a big one. Best way to protect yourself. Silent, SLNT.com/Sean. Okay, big update from Kash Patel over at the FBI. Apparently he found Jim Comey's secret room, or a secret room, where there were documents in what they're calling burn bags. These are like batches of documents that are set for destruction. It has nearly taken a decade, but as it's said here, Becky Noble over on Red State, we may be just beginning to find out the immense scope and breadth of what amounts to a years-long soft coup being carried out by members of the Obama administration and other deep state players against Donald Trump throughout much of his first term in office. Democrats, same people who accused Trump of colluding with Russia for literally years, are now saying move on. But new information is emerging almost daily, and apparently there's another, according to Mike Benz and Just the News today, there's going to be more declassifications made, I think, in the next 24 hours. FBI Director Kash Patel appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast and discussed the secret room that contained documents and computer hard drives, which he claimed, quote, no one had ever seen or heard of. It's been described as a concealed, sensitive, compartmented information facility, a SCIF. On Wednesday, it was reported that in that room, Kash Patel also found what were described as burn bags full of sensitive documents related to the Trump-Russia investigation. Burn bags are used to destroy documents that are designated as classified or higher. Sources claim the bags contain thousands of documents. It's like the memory hole in 1984, where they stick it into that incinerator and it goes away forever. This brings up another point that a lot of people have been making regarding Epstein and other pieces of evidence. We now have proof that they were destroying evidence, right? This whole burn bag thing. You really think that they left a lot behind? Hopefully they left enough behind. But this burn bag situation, the evidence that we're seeing marked for destruction, thankfully Kash Patel is in there rescuing them from that fate. It's a big story, just outlining, and it underlines and highlights the corruption and the deep state and how the deep state is trying to cover for itself to keep, all of those folks from being held accountable. Conspiracy to defraud the United States, 18 U.S. Code Section 371. It is absolutely valid. That's going to be the charge if there are charges. Did you just get a troll?
Oh, yeah, nothing really crazy.
Was he a bad one?
No.
Okay. Finally,
annoying.
I'm very excited about this. Apparently, Scott Bessent says we are on the cusp, on the brink of a trade deal with China. We love China. Let me tell you something. China, they've been treating us very unfairly for a long time. And we're on the cusp of a trade deal with China. But also, I'm excited about this, the Financial Times. Donald Trump's tariff blitz brings the U.S. levies to their highest level since the 1930s. How about that? Okay? So the United States tariff levels are at their highest levels since the 1930s. I am extremely excited about this. I would hope that at some point, after enough revenue is generated from these tariffs, that we can start to offset the income tax with it, or pay down the debt. One of two things. What I don't want, and I know that it's kind of people are on both sides of this, I don't want a $600 check to go out to every American taxpayer as a tariff rebate check. I know that Hawley was pushing for it. I don't know what's up with him lately. He's been doing some very questionable things. It just feels like a transparent attempt to buy votes. I get it strategically, tactically, what he's trying to do, I think. I'd rather see the debt paid down. That being said, if the government sends me a check for $600, I'm going to cash it. But I would rather see the government, rather than sending Americans these checks, just start paying down the debt. We've got to do something about this. And I don't like the whole stimulus check. Let's do it here. Let's do it. I mean, that might just fuel inflation, right? Mm-hmm. So let's use the tariff revenue wisely. If you want to repay the American people, use it to offset income taxes, as has been proposed a while ago, for people making under $200,000 a year, whatever it might be, and pay down the debt. That helps us in the long run. We don't need to worry about the short term. We should be able to mount enough of a turnout in the midterms without essentially being given $600 to go, vote. So maybe what Josh Hawley is trying to do is just put the Democrats on record that they're voting against it, and then use that against them. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. I don't know. So, all right, we are right up on the end here. Okay, Jeremy Harrell is coming up next here at Live from America, LFA TV, rumble.com/LFA TV. Go on over to the LFA TV store. A lot of people who are at the Ark, both members of the LFA family and randos, like strangers that were at the Ark, were like, I love that shirt. What shirt was I wearing? I was wearing my I Don't Really Care Margaret shirt with J.D. Vance's little chipmunk cheeks on it. I love it. This shirt's a great one. I've got one. I encourage you to go ahead and get one. That is LFATV.us, LFATV.us, or JeremyHarrell.com/store. Pick it up. There's a lot of other things to offer and a lot of other things to pick up at the LFA TV store as well. LFATV.us or JeremyHarrell.com/store. LFATV.us or JeremyHarrell.com/store. Jeremy is coming up next with Live from America here for the next 2 hours on Rumble.com/LFATV. That is home base. If you're watching anywhere else, go to Rumble. Make sure you're following the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button for the show. That is the most important thing for us. It helps us fly up the charts, and it would really, really help us. Of course, if we ever do hit 1,000 live, you will see Clover, but until then, you will not see Clover. We will not reward laziness. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're reposting wherever you're watching it. Make sure you're jumping in the chat. And again, thank you to Z, who is following us and is a listener every single day. Have a great rest of your day. As President Trump says, we will never give up. We will never give in. We will never, ever surrender. If all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We're back tomorrow. I'm on PHT tomorrow morning for 2 hours from 6:45 to 8:45 Eastern time. We got phone calls second half of tomorrow's show. Have a great rest of your day. In the words of John Fetterman, bang, gavel. And of course, thank you for your attention to this matter.